In the vast and incredible story of our planet, human history is but a recent chapter. Yet, within this short time, remarkable societies have risen and flourished, leaving behind legacies that continue to shape our world today. We often call these periods golden civilizations or golden ages. But what does this truly mean? It is not about a world made of gold, but rather a time of extraordinary human achievement. It describes a period when a society reaches a peak in its development, a time of great progress in arts, science, architecture, and governance. These were moments when human creativity and ingenuity shone at their brightest, like a brilliant star in the dark sky of history. Imagine a time when new ideas were born, ideas that would change the course of human existence forever. A golden civilization is a place where people learned to build magnificent structures that touched the clouds, where they developed systems of writing to record their thoughts and stories for future generations. It was a time of great thinkers, powerful leaders, and skilled craftspeople who worked together to create something truly lasting. These societies were not perfect, of course. They faced challenges, wars, and hardships. However, their collective achievements were so profound, so influential, that we look back on them with a sense of wonder and admiration, as if peering into a truly golden era of human potential. These shining moments in history were often fueled by a unique combination of factors. Perhaps it was a fertile river valley that provided abundant food, allowing people the time and security to think beyond mere survival. Or maybe it was a stable government that provided peace and order, creating an environment where culture and knowledge could thrive. In these special times, people felt a strong sense of shared identity and purpose. They built cities that were centers of trade, learning, and innovation. The glow from these golden ages was so strong that it has traveled through the centuries, illuminating our own path and reminding us of what humanity is capable of achieving. When we explore these golden civilizations, we are not just looking at dusty relics and ancient ruins. We are connecting with the very spirit of our ancestors. We are uncovering the roots of our own modern world, from the way we write and count to the laws that govern our societies. It is a journey back in time, a grand adventure into the heart of what it means to be human. By understanding these incredible societies, we can better understand ourselves and the long winding journey that has brought us to where we are today, standing on the shoulders of these ancient giants. The stories of these civilizations are our stories, a shared heritage that belongs to all of humankind. Our journey into the past begins with three of the most remarkable civilizations the world has ever known: ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, and ancient China. Each of these societies emerged thousands of years ago, yet their influence is still felt in the modern world. They are like the great, ancient trees of the human family, with deep roots that have nourished countless cultures that followed. These were not just collections of people living in one place, they were dynamic centers of invention and culture. They developed unique ways of life, powerful beliefs and technologies that were far ahead of their time. Each one tells a unique and fascinating story of human resilience and brilliance. Let us travel first to the sun-drenched lands of North Africa, to the kingdom of ancient Egypt. Here, along the fertile banks of the mighty Nile River, a civilization of incredible durability and majesty was born. For nearly 3,000 years, the Egyptians built a society that was famous for its powerful pharaohs, its mysterious gods, and its monumental architecture. Their story is one of a deep connection to the land and a profound belief in the afterlife, which inspired them to create some of the most iconic structures on Earth. The Egyptians were master builders, astronomers, and artists, and their legacy is written in stone and papyrus. Next, our journey takes us eastward, to a fertile crescent of land nestled between two great rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. This land was called Mesopotamia, which means the land between the rivers. It is often referred to as the cradle of civilization because it was here that many of the things we take for granted today were first invented. The Mesopotamians were the pioneers who developed the first cities, the first system of writing, and the first set of written laws. Theirs was a world of bustling city-states, powerful kings, and innovative thinkers who laid the groundwork for modern society in countless ways. Finally, we travel further east, to the vast and ancient lands of China. Sheltered by mountains and deserts, a unique and continuous civilization grew over millennia. The story of ancient China is one of dynasties, emperors, and profound philosophical ideas that have shaped not just a nation, but the entire world. The Chinese were brilliant inventors, giving us treasures like paper, printing, gunpowder, and the compass. Their society was built on a deep respect for tradition, family, and order, creating a culture of remarkable resilience and continuity. The tale of China is a testament to the enduring power of ideas and the ingenuity of the human spirit. The story of ancient Egypt is impossible to tell without first speaking of the river that gave it life, the Nile. This magnificent river flows through the heart of the desert, and each year, like clockwork, it would flood its banks. This was not a disaster, but a blessing. The floodwaters would recede, leaving behind a layer of rich, dark, fertile soil called black silt. This incredible gift from the river allowed the Egyptians to grow abundant crops of wheat and barley. With a reliable food source, the people were freed from the constant struggle for survival. This security was the foundation upon which their entire golden civilization was built, allowing them to turn their energies toward art, religion, and engineering. With this stability, the Egyptians developed a complex and fascinating society. At its head was the pharaoh, who was considered not just a king but a living god on earth. This belief gave the pharaoh immense power and authority, which was used to organize vast labor projects and maintain order throughout the kingdom. Below the pharaoh was a structured society of priests, scribes, soldiers, and farmers. The priests were the keepers of religious knowledge, while the scribes were the masters of writing. Using a beautiful and complex system of picture writing called hieroglyphs, they recorded everything from royal decrees and religious texts to simple letters and lists of goods. The Egyptians' belief in the afterlife was one of their most powerful driving forces. They believed that death was not an end, but merely a transition to another, eternal world. To ensure a successful journey to this next life, they developed elaborate rituals and practices, most famously the process of mummification. By preserving the body, they believed the soul would have a home to return to. This focus on eternity inspired their greatest architectural achievements, the tombs. From the hidden chambers in the Valley of the Kings to the colossal pyramids that still stand today. These structures were built not for the living, but as eternal resting places for their divine rulers. Beyond their monumental tombs, the Egyptians were also brilliant innovators in many other fields. They were skilled mathematicians, using their knowledge to survey land and design their massive pyramids with incredible precision. They developed a calendar based on the cycles of the sun and the star Sirius, which was remarkably accurate and helped them predict the annual Nile flood. In medicine, they had knowledge of surgery, could set broken bones, and wrote down their medical knowledge on papyrus scrolls. The Egyptians were a people who sought to understand and control their world, creating a legacy of knowledge that was as enduring as their stone monuments. So why do we call ancient Egypt a golden civilization? The answer lies in its incredible longevity and the monumental scale of its achievements. For nearly 3,000 years, while other empires rose and fell, Egyptian culture remained remarkably stable and consistent. This enduring strength allowed for the continuous development of its art, architecture, and traditions. The pyramids of Giza, for example, are not just piles of stone. They are a testament to an astonishing level of organization, mathematical skill, and collective effort. The Great Pyramid alone was built from over 2 million stone blocks, a feat of engineering that continues to baffle and inspire us to this day. The golden nature of Egypt is also found in the richness and beauty of its culture. The art of the Egyptians was not just decorative, it was deeply symbolic and tied to their religious beliefs. The paintings and carvings found in tombs and temples tell vivid stories of gods, pharaohs, and daily life. They created stunning jewelry from gold and precious stones, intricate furniture, and beautifully decorated pottery. This artistic legacy, preserved for millennia in the dry desert climate, gives us a vibrant and detailed window into their world. The treasures from Tutankhamun's tomb, for instance, reveal a level of craftsmanship and artistry that is truly breathtaking, shining a golden light on their sophisticated culture. Furthermore, Egypt's contributions to human knowledge were foundational. Their invention of hieroglyphic writing was a monumental leap forward, allowing for complex records, literature, and religious texts to be preserved. The Rosetta Stone, which finally allowed us to decipher these ancient symbols, unlocked a treasure trove of information about their society. Their advances in medicine, documented in texts like the Ebers Papyrus, show a surprisingly sophisticated understanding of the human body for their time. This intellectual heritage formed a crucial part of the bedrock upon which later civilizations, including the Greeks and Romans, would build their own knowledge. Ultimately, ancient Egypt is considered golden because it represents a triumph of the human spirit over a harsh environment. They did not just survive in the desert, they thrived, creating a world of order, beauty, and profound meaning. Their civilization was a beacon of power and culture in the ancient world, and its influence was felt far and wide. The sheer ambition of their projects, the depth of their spiritual beliefs, and the enduring beauty of their art are what make their civilization shine so brightly through the ages. The legacy of the pharaohs is not just in their tombs and temples, but in the enduring idea that humanity can achieve the seemingly impossible. In the fertile plains between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, another great civilization took root. This was Mesopotamia, a land of dynamic change and relentless innovation. Unlike the relatively isolated and stable Egypt, Mesopotamia was a crossroads of cultures and a battleground for empires. This constant interaction and conflict spurred a different kind of progress. The story of Mesopotamia is not one of a single unified kingdom, but of a succession of powerful peoples. The Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, each building upon the achievements of the last. It was a place of constant invention, born from necessity and competition. The Sumerians, who settled in southern Mesopotamia around 4000 BCE, were the true pioneers. They are credited with one of the most important inventions in all of human history, the city. Places like Ur and Uruk were not just large villages. They were the world's first true urban centers, with complex social structures, organized governments, and monumental public buildings called ziggurats. These massive step pyramids served as temples to the gods, dominating the flat landscape and acting as the spiritual and administrative heart of the city. Life in these cities was a new human experience, creating a dynamic environment for trade, craftsmanship, and new ideas. Perhaps the Sumerians' greatest gift to the world was the invention of writing. Around 3200 BCE, they developed a system known as cuneiform. Using a reed stylus, they made wedge-shaped marks on wet clay tablets. Initially used for keeping records of goods and taxes, cuneiform quickly evolved to record laws, literature, and history. This breakthrough was revolutionary. For the first time, knowledge could be stored and passed down accurately through generations and across great distances. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the world's first great works of literature, was written in cuneiform, telling a powerful story of friendship, loss, and the search for immortality. The Mesopotamians were also brilliant innovators in science and mathematics. They developed a number system based on 60, which is the reason we still have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour today. They divided the circle into 360 degrees, a system we still use in geometry and navigation. They were keen astronomers, carefully mapping the movements of the stars and planets. They used this knowledge to create accurate calendars and to practice astrology, believing the heavens held clues to the future. These intellectual achievements were not just abstract. They were practical tools that helped them manage their agriculture, trade, and society. Why is Mesopotamia considered a golden civilization? Its importance comes from its role as a true originator. While other civilizations refined and perfected ideas, Mesopotamia was where many of the fundamental elements of civilization itself were born. The very concept of a city, a place where people from different walks of life lived together under a system of laws and governance, began here. This invention of urban living completely changed the human story, leading to specialization of labor, the growth of trade, and the rapid exchange of ideas. Mesopotamia was not just a civilization, it was the blueprint for civilization itself. Another reason for its golden status is its pioneering work in law and government. The Babylonians, under their famous king Hammurabi, created one of the world's first comprehensive and written legal codes. The Code of Hammurabi, carved onto a tall stone stele for all to see, established a set of clear laws for everyone in the kingdom. It covered everything from business contracts and family matters to crime and punishment. The principle of an eye for an eye comes from this code. This was a monumental step toward the idea of justice, suggesting that society should be governed by written rules, not just the whims of a powerful ruler. The technological ingenuity of the Mesopotamians also marks their era as golden. Living in a land that could be harsh and unpredictable, they became masters of engineering to control their environment. They built complex irrigation systems with canals and dikes to channel the waters of the Tigris and Euphrates to their fields. This allowed them to produce agricultural surpluses that supported their growing cities. They are also credited with inventing the wheel, a simple yet transformative invention that revolutionized transportation and pottery making. These practical innovations were the engine that powered their society's growth and prosperity. In essence, Mesopotamia's golden legacy is its role as the great laboratory of human society. It was a place of firsts: the first cities, the first writing, the first laws, the first empires. The constant churn of cultures in the region created a fertile ground for new ideas and solutions to the challenges of living together in large, complex societies. The Mesopotamians laid the essential groundwork for so many aspects of our modern world. Their ideas about writing, law, timekeeping, and urban life spread throughout the ancient world, becoming a foundational part of our shared human heritage. They were the trailblazers who first walked the path of civilization. Far to the east, another remarkable civilization emerged, largely in isolation from the worlds of Egypt and Mesopotamia. This was ancient China, a culture defined by its extraordinary continuity and its profound philosophical traditions. For thousands of years, through a succession of powerful dynasties, China developed a unique and sophisticated society. The Chinese people saw their land as the Middle Kingdom, the center of the civilized world, and they built a culture that was as vast and enduring as the land itself. Their story is one of great thinkers, brilliant inventors, and the quest for balance and order in both society and the natural world. One of the greatest achievements of ancient China was its system of governance, centered on the emperor and a highly organized civil service. To run such a vast empire, the Chinese developed a bureaucracy staffed by educated scholars. To become a government official, a person had to pass a series of difficult examinations based on their knowledge of philosophy and literature, particularly the teachings of the great sage Confucius. This system, known as the meritocracy, meant that people could gain positions of power based on their ability and education, not just their noble birth. This was a revolutionary idea that promoted stability and effective governance for centuries. The Chinese were also responsible for some of the most important inventions in history, often called the Four Great Inventions. They created paper from mulberry bark and other fibers, providing a cheap and convenient material for writing and record keeping. Building on this, they developed woodblock printing, which allowed for the mass production of books and documents long before it was invented in Europe. They also discovered the explosive properties of gunpowder, initially used for fireworks and later for military purposes. Finally, their invention of the magnetic compass transformed navigation, allowing sailors to explore the open seas with greater confidence. These inventions would eventually travel the world and change it forever. The philosophical and spiritual traditions of ancient China were another of its monumental achievements. The teachings of Confucius, who lived around 500 BCE, provided a moral and ethical framework for Chinese society for over 2 millennia. Confucianism emphasized respect for family, elders, and authority, as well as the importance of personal virtue and social harmony. Alongside it, Taoism offered a different path, encouraging people to live in harmony with the Tao, or the natural way of the universe. These philosophies provided a deep sense of order and meaning, shaping every aspect of Chinese life, from art and medicine to politics and personal conduct. The golden label for ancient China is well-deserved due to its incredible cultural continuity and its world-changing innovations. While other ancient civilizations eventually faded or were absorbed, Chinese culture has maintained a continuous thread from ancient times to the present day. This remarkable resilience is a testament to the strength of its social and philosophical structures. The system of writing developed thousands of years ago, for example, has evolved but is still recognizable, allowing modern Chinese people to read ancient texts. This unbroken connection to the past is a unique and defining feature of their civilization, a golden chain linking generation to generation. China's golden age is also defined by the sheer scale and ambition of its engineering projects. The Great Wall of China is perhaps the most famous example. It is not a single wall, but a series of fortifications built and rebuilt over centuries, stretching for thousands of miles. It stands as a powerful symbol of the Chinese determination to protect their civilization and maintain their way of life. Another marvel is the Grand Canal, the longest artificial waterway in the world. This canal linked the fertile rice-growing regions of the south with the population centers of the north, ensuring a stable food supply and facilitating trade and communication across the vast empire. The artistic and intellectual output of ancient China further solidifies its golden status. Chinese artisans perfected the production of silk, creating a luxurious fabric that was highly prized across the ancient world and traded along the famous Silk Road. They also developed the art of making porcelain, a type of ceramic so fine and beautiful that it is still known simply as China. In literature, they produced epic histories, profound poetry, and classic philosophical texts that are still studied and admired today. This rich cultural tapestry demonstrates a society that valued beauty, learning, and reflection, hallmarks of any great golden age. Comparing the three civilizations, we see different paths to greatness. Egypt's gold was its stability, its monumental art born from a deep faith in eternity. Mesopotamia's gold was its dynamic, pioneering spirit, giving birth to the very foundations of urban life and law. China's gold was its continuity and its practical ingenuity, creating a resilient society and inventions that would empower the entire world. Each was shaped by its geography and its unique worldview. Egypt looked inward and upward to the afterlife. Mesopotamia looked outward, engaging with its neighbors. China looked to its own traditions and the natural order to create a balanced and enduring society. What can we in our busy modern world learn from these ancient golden civilizations? One of the most important lessons is the value of a shared vision and collective effort. The pyramids of Egypt, the ziggurats of Mesopotamia, and the Great Wall of China were not built by one person. They were the result of thousands of people working together toward a common goal, organized by a society that had a strong sense of purpose. This reminds us that our greatest achievements as a species come not from individual action alone, but from our ability to cooperate, to share knowledge, and to build something larger than ourselves. We can also learn about the importance of balance between innovation and tradition. Mesopotamia was a hub of constant innovation, but it was also a place of frequent conflict. Egypt was incredibly stable for millennia, but its resistance to change may have eventually made it vulnerable. China found a unique balance, fostering incredible inventions while maintaining a deep respect for its traditions and philosophies, which provided a stable foundation. This teaches us that while progress and new ideas are vital, a connection to our history and core values provides the strength and resilience needed to endure through difficult times. The ideas from these ancient societies are not just historical curiosities, they are still actively helping us today. Every time we write a letter, we are using a concept pioneered in Mesopotamia and refined in Egypt. Every time we look at a clock, we're using a timekeeping system with roots in Babylon. The very idea of a government of laws, not of men, was first written down in the Code of Hammurabi. The Chinese invention of paper and printing laid the foundation for the mass spread of knowledge, which led to the Renaissance and the scientific revolution, and which continues today through the internet. As we look to the future, the stories of these golden civilizations offer us both inspiration and a warning. They show us the incredible heights humanity can reach when it fosters creativity, order, and a sense of shared purpose. They also remind us that no civilization lasts forever. They face challenges from climate change, war, and internal decay. By studying their successes and their failures, we can gain wisdom for navigating our own complex world. Their legacy is a timeless reminder that the foundation of a truly golden society is not built from gold or stone, but from knowledge, cooperation, and a deep understanding of what it means to be human.